And joining us now to speak more on the review of the state's anti-grazing law and the gains of the law in the last 5 years, as well as his relationship and new political colleagues in a new dispensation, is Governor Samuel Ortom of Benue State. Good to have you join us on the program. Let's quickly jump right into it. You just signed into law the Anti-grazing Law Amendment Bill. What does the amended legislation seek to achieve, and how has this curbed clashes between farmers and herders in your state?
Thank you very much. I must commend the board and management of Arise Television, and to thank you for what I've seen so far, your achievement in bridging the gap of information dissemination between government and the people, and appreciate your giant strive so far. Thank you for reaching out to us here in Benue State. Since 2017, when we enacted and signed into law prohibiting open grazing and provision for ranching, we have been able to record milestone in this area of ensuring security for lives and property and protecting especially our peasant farmers. We appreciate the fact that substantial compliance has been done by the herdsmen, and the role of security agencies, they have done well, our livestock guard, and also government officials that are involved in ensuring compliance, they have done very well, and we deeply appreciate them. And I must also condole families of those security agencies, our livestock guard, and the teeming people of Benue State who have paid supreme sacrifices to ensure that we live in peace. And moving forward, we move to the 21st century animal production routes, which of course it is ranching, which is the global practice everywhere we see. And I must also commend the fact that we have been able to do very well. The people in Benue State have been resilient despite all the attacks and suppression from herdsmen who have persistently continued to attack our communities. But I remember that everywhere I've been around the state, because I'm constantly in touch with the people of Benue State to ask them whether to review any part of the law or even to rescind it, as the herdsmen were calling, so that they will continue to perpetuate evil on their land, send away our people, and take over the land as they had planned ab initio. But the people have persistently said that they remain committed to the law. It wasn't me as governor or the House of Assembly, but it was their call that Benue State should have a law in place to ensure that we have regulation that will guide those who want to do livestock business in Benue State. And so persistently they have told me that they remain committed to the law in 2017. And even the amendment today is as a result of the gap we saw in the law. Specifically, the amendment which I signed yesterday into law was to take care of the meager sum that was charged for those who were trespassing on land. And for instance, the law as signed in 2017 stipulated that those who come in with cattle doing open grazing on our land, when they are arrested, they should pay a sum of 2,000 naira per head of a cow that is arrested. And subsequently, for 7 days, if they do not come to pay and reclaim their cattle, they should be charged with the sum of 200 naira within 7 days. And after 7 days, the law permits the state government to auction the cow. And we decided to review the law and to say that for any cattle arrested, once you're on our land and you do open grazing, you should be liable and pay the sum of 50,000 instead of the 2,000 that was being charged per head of a cow. And for the 7 days period that is given as grace periods, if you don't come to collect, you will pay a demurrage of 20,000 per cow if you don't come to collect it within the 7 days. But if at the expiration of the 7 days you have not collected your cow, you will be, the state government will have no option than to auction the cow. And so that is where we are. And I'm not saying that within these 5 years that we have experimented this law, we have achieved a lot of successes. And the law is not targeted at just Fulani herdsmen or Hausa or Jukum or Igbo. It's targeted at everybody, including the indigenous people here in Benue State. The Tea people, the Igede people, the Idoma people are also affected. And over the years, our Lifestyle Guard have done a good job by arresting over 15,000 heads of cattle that they have arrested. And all these cattle, people pay fines, and where they do not pay immediately, they are also charged to pay the demurrage that is required. And where they are not paid, they are also auctioned. And I tell you that more than 600 people have been arrested who were involved in carrying out open grazing activities. These include Fulani men, Hausa, Jukun Tea people, Idoma, and Igede people. Even some of my relations who were involved, there are some who were not given option of fine or have not been able to pay fines. They are in prison as I talk to you. And it has achieved tremendous success and have succeeded in reducing the level of insecurity the way we used to experience it before the enactment of the law. So I can say that we have been able to achieve success. More than 200 people have been convicted. Some have paid fine. Some are languishing in jail because of the offense they committed. Some are waiting trial. And I can tell you that all is going well, except for the notorious criminal elements of Fulani herdsmen, and especially who come from Mali, who come from Niger, who come from Mauritania, who come from Libya, who come from Senegal. And their intention is not just about grazing or doing cattle business, but is to send the people away and take over the land. Currently, as I talk to you, those people that come around with AK-47, AK-47, or AK-49, and other associated sophisticated weapons are not just here with cattle, but they come to kill, to mayhem, and so on. And that is why we have over 1.5 million IDPs in our camps. Those who attempted to go back in their homes for no reason Many have been killed, many have been maimed, women have been raped, our children have been abused, and so on. But they do this thing. But I must commend the security agencies, Operation White Stroke, the Nigerian Army here in Benue State, the Nigerian Police, the Civil Defense, especially the Agro Rangers. They have not been spared. In the course of attack, they too have been killed. But they have worked very hard from 2017 to date. It's on account that over 100 security personnel have been murdered in the course of they doing their legitimate duty to ensure that Benue State have peace in their own land as we are today. So I say that this amendment came as a result of those who felt that they have enough money. And I tell you, because this issue of cattle business as it is today in Nigeria, it is not just being done because they have collected enough money. So they're always ready to pay those mega sums. So we sat back with our communities, the traditional rulers, the stakeholders, the Benue State Executive Council, and the House of Assembly. And we say we just have to amend the law. After all, a cow today is over 200,000 naira. So even when they come here and destroy people's land, destroy their farms, kill people, and when they are caught and there is no substantive evidence to arrest some of them, what we charge was just a meager 2,000 naira. So let us move it to 50,000. At least if they are paying, let them know that it is painful. Our target is not just getting money from them. We don't want them to do it. If you want to do cattle business here, come and we're ready to give you land to lease and to do your cattle business. But when you come here with impunity, yes.
Please, I'd like to interrupt you a bit. Thank you for shedding, light to a lot of, giving us your insight on the amendment bill. And then we appreciate the fact that it's been a strong success, in Benue State. But we know that you've been a very strong critic of President Buhari over his handling of the farmers, herders clashes and the general security situation in Nigeria. Have you tried to approach him with suggestions on how these issues can be handled?
I tell you, since 2016, I was a member of APC. I won my first election in 2015 on the platform of APC. And I did not stop in telling Mr. President the truth. Part of why I had to leave the APC was because of this matter. As I talk to you, Mr. President have badly handled this matter in a manner that is not befitting for a president who believes that is a president of all Nigerians, a president who is not for somebody but for everybody, as he declared in 2015 when he came. I have personally visited Mr. President, not once, not twice, not thrice, several times. I cannot count them. And I have told him, but as I talk to you, and you can confirm from Channel's interview that Mr. President offered, and even you, Arise Television, Mr. President believes that except there are cattle routes, there are grazing areas, otherwise there can be no peace. So his thinking is like just of a Fulani man, not the president of Nigeria. He believes that the Fulani man can live with his cattle, which their evil agenda is to take over the land. He does not believe that the farmers should thrive in this country and do their legitimate farming business, which the cattle come to destroy. And he believes that the Fulani man can carry AK-47, which they use it to kill. I have told them that it's not possible. There is no way you can have cattle routes and grazing areas as it is in 1950, when the total population of Nigeria was less than 40 million people. Today, we are over 200 million people, and we are still battling with a land of just 923,000 square kilometers, but even less because of the ceding of Bakassi to the Cameroon in Nigeria. So the land is not increasing, it's decreasing, but the land have been taken over by farming activities, by settlement, by marketplaces, by roads network, by people's settlement, schools, and other activities, industries, and all that. But Mr. President doesn't believe in this. Even in his last channel interview, Mr. President still believes there should be cattle routes. Where are you going to have these cattle routes? For God's sake. Even the villa where Mr. President is staying once was a place where the cattle herdsmen went to graze. Can they go there and graze now? Can he vacate villa for those people? And that is what is happening. And that is why I say that the very day that Mr. President decides that this issue of farmers' herdsmen should finish, it will be done. All those things are with him. For now, he is supporting actively those herdsmen to continue to perpetuate evil against the people. And it is these herdsmen that are now inviting Boko Haram, they are inviting ISWAP, they are inviting bandits and terrorists to take over this country. I have spoken to Mr. President several times, but he decided at a point, I have been blocked from the villa. I want to see him. I'm no longer allowed to see President, my own president. And the suggestion I give are deeply thought and prayed over to ensure that we have peace in this country. But Mr. President is not prepared. The day he is prepared to stop this evil that is going on, it will take place. You recall that when Afghanistan took over, I did say that if we don't take time, one day Nigeria will be like Afghanistan. That is what is happening. Today, we have heard in certain parts of the country, bandits are blocking road, they are having roadblock. Even when police say that there should be no roadblock, bandits are taking over and they are blocking roads, they are collecting levy, they are taxing people. Some local governments in this country, in certain states, bandits have taken over. And what is happening? The security have been overstretched, they don't have enough arms, nobody can explain to us even some monies that states and local government and federal government put together to give for security, to provide enough equipment and logistics and the wherewithal to enable the security agencies to confront this. It is not happening. How about recruitment? The personnel are short, the security men are overstretched, and nothing is just happening. But Mr. President seems to be, his body language is that of encouraging these people. Fulanis can come from Senegal, can come from Niger, can come from everywhere and take over the land and nothing will happen. That is my query with them. I have no issue. I pray for the president every day, as the Bible instructs me as a Christian, and I want Mr. President to succeed because we have no other country other than Nigeria. But when you talk, they get people to insult me and to say all kinds of things that are not related to the things that I'm suggesting that should be done to help this country succeed. And so I don't believe that Mr. President is prepared. If he's prepared, I can tell you that the very day this evil that is being committed on this country will be a thing of the past.
Governor Ortom, and still on the subject of land, we want to know exactly what has your government been doing about resettling the displaced people that have been affected by the attacks in their own communities?
Thank you very much. You see, we're in a federation. I'm a state in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You know the constraint that we have as state. One, we do not control the security apparatus of this country. We are only supported by the security. We work with them. We provide logistics. I don't give order to police. I don't give order to the army. I don't give order to civil defense. They only complement what we do. Currently, the main challenge of my IDPs in Benue State that are over 1.5 million people is enough security for them to go back to their land and live and continue with their families. I have been to the camps several times. I have 8 of them here in Benue State. The children who are not going to school, they are not happy people. The old men who are forced to stay. Mind you, these camps that I am talking about that we established here in Benue State, they are not even standard camps. Sometimes they are school environment. The one next to being a little of a standard camp is what you have in Makudi here, which was constructed by General Danjima's committee to rehabilitate people. And no single person in that camp, our mothers, our sisters, our children, the old men, the old women, nobody wants to live in that camp for one day. They are compelled to be there. They want to go back, and I am ready to provide the logistics for them to go back. But those who attempted to go back, they were killed, they were maimed, they were raped. Some people's hands, women were amputated by these terrorist Fulani herdsmen. So that is the problem that we have. So the security that have been posted to Benue State, I must confess that they have done their best. I have told you more than 100 of them have been killed since 2017. So if security men that are trained, equipped with sophisticated weapons are killed, what do you expect an average farmer who was displaced and is distressed to go back and do and confront these herdsmen? It is an impossible thing. This is the challenge we have. I want them to go back. I don't even have the resources to pay arrears of salaries. I don't have the resources to continue to keep these people in the camp. We try. And some good-spirited individuals, some other international organizations, some states in Nigeria like Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Taraba, and all that have looked at our plight and provided help to Benue State. The federal government on its own, through NEMA and others, have also provided, but they are grossly inadequate to take care of food and non-food materials that are required for these families to live. I've interacted with them. Everyone wants to go back to home. But no one wants to be killed. The fear that if they go back and they will be killed just like others who went and never came back is still there. So that is a challenge. For we, I am ready, even today, if adequate security is provided, but I'm also aware of the constraint of the security agencies to provide security for all the villages that these people were displaced. But one of the things as a government, which we initiated last year, was to send to the House of Assembly to amend a law on community volunteer guards, which will be allowed to carry arms that are lawful, arms that are lawful, arms that are licensed by the authorities, so that they will provide some minimum security, and then in collaboration with the conventional security men who have sophisticated weapons. But at least, if they are there to provide backup to our security agencies, we'll be able to bring some little of sanity into the system. But as I talk to you, the security personnel are grossly inadequate to be able to take care of these terrorist activities that are going on, and also control the local banditry, kidnappings, armed robbery, and other ills in the society. So it is a big challenge. So the responsibility squarely rests with the federal government to secure the land on our behalf, because they have it. Because we have severally have continued to say that, look, the best way to handle this is to allow for state police. Restructure the system and allow us have state police. But the federal government is adamant. They are not prepared. If they liaise with us, if they work together with us, we are ready. I have called severally for security summit, invite states, invite local governments, and let us meet with the federal government and see how we can bring synergy and thoughts together to see how we can resolve this matter. But each time I put a suggestion forward, anything that is coming from Ortom is bad. Everything is politicized. It is not everything that you politicize, for God's sake. I've been in politics for over 40 years. But for you to succeed, it's not everything you politicize. When it comes to election, we'll go for election and talk about politics. But for God's sake, security matters are not things that should be politicized. It requires all of us. Mr. President do not have monopoly. I do not have. The local government do not have. Other people do not have. But stakeholders in this country, there are experts, retired military security experts, that can be pulled together in a retreat that will help us solve this problem. So if Mr. President wants this thing to end, he can bring this to table, but each time you put a suggestion, it will not work. I'll give you an example of what I'm trying to say. That is on security. Go back to politics. Look at what Mr. President did in the amendments of the electoral law. He sent it to other people to make contribution, other corporate bodies like INEC and civil societies and all that. They team up together. When the National Assembly brought that amendment, he said no, he vetoed it and sent it back to them. Have the National Assembly not accepted it? And we're talking of him assenting to it so that we start the process of election early enough to be able to make it. Why can't Mr. President call stakeholders, experts, who can advise him and some of us, governors who are major stakeholders, to do this? The other time, in the NEC committee, in the federal government, which is Mr. President's committee, National Economic Council, we came together and said, we must find a solution to this farmers and herders crisis. And subcommittees were set up, and we came out with a solution that allowed those states that have the land to allow open grazing, do it. Allow states that do not have land, like Benue State, to do ranching, and also do pig farming and other forms of livestock farming. And this we go. So those who have want to do open grazing and ranching should do it. Those who want to do on-ranching should be allowed to do it with the active support of the federal government. Where they are doing ranching, the federal government, state and local government can support herdsmen with some level of subsidy, maybe in fees or other things that will help them thrive in their business. When it got to the presidency kept that report aside. A meeting of 36 governors and key ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, chaired by the vice president. And they said that the Minister of Agriculture, who is an appointee of government, should put our report aside. And they insisted that they should bring cattle colony, cattle farming settlement, and all those things. It will not work. These are the issues. So the presidency is not prepared to solve this problem. The day the presidency will want to solve the problem, they will respect the report of 36 governors of the federation of this country. And in other words, you are talking about the 774 local governments in Nigeria. And of course, the vice president committee that he chairs in the National Economic Council and some of his ministers, he would have respected it. But he brushed it aside. So that shows you that there is a hidden agenda that the president is yet to reveal to all of us that this is what they want to do. This is my query with it. I have no personal issue with Mr. President. I want things to work in this country. I have no other investment in any other country in the entire world. I'm interested in Nigeria. I'm interested in my Benue State. And most especially the people of Benue State elected me as their governor. I should protect them. And what I am doing in this state, every single thing I do here is with the consent of my people in Benue State. You know, no matter when they pay some people who are looking for crumbs and who want to get their meat ticket from the presidency, and they insult me and say all kind of things. They cannot come and do it in Benue State. Okay. I've won election 2 times here.
Okay, so moving on in our conversation.
This is the point.
Yes, you make total sense. And moving on in our conversation, and still on the political arena, what is your view on the agitation for power shift? And where do you think your party, the PDP, will zone the presidency to?
On power shift, I want to tell you that at this point, I can only talk about my personal views. I am someone who believes in equity, fairness, and justice, and I can talk about my personal views. But my personal views are subject to the decision of my party, the People's Democratic Party. If you ask me, I will tell you that though it is not written in the Constitution of our country, but it is known that there should be power shift from north and south. If the presidency is in the north for 8 years, it should go to the south. And I have made these views known, that is my personal view. The decision of the party is supreme, it's above me. But if you ask me, the presidency should go to the south for equity, for fairness, for justice, so that everybody will have a sense of belonging. And as for who becomes the president, I believe that we have credible people in the South who can be there. Amongst governors, even within my colleagues, I'm aware that there are credible people in the South who can be president of this country, and they will do better than what APC is giving us in this country today. So there is no issue about that, but like I said, my party still have the authority over me to decide whether it should go to anywhere. But going further, I think that Nigerians will have come of age. And we have seen that this issue of zoning here and there has not helped us. Going forward, because we borrowed the presidential system of government from America, let us also borrow other things. In America, there came a time when George Bush was president. His 2 sons were governors in 2 different states, and one of the sons became president. So we must look for credibility. We must look for excellence. We must look for people who can objectively deliver what this country needs, so that we don't fall in the trap of presidency in the north and south and all that like we have today. Today, tell me what is happening. Nothing is happening. And they sit in Abuja and praise themselves that they have succeeded. You have succeeded in doing what? Look at where we were in 2015. Where are we today? Is it in terms of the economy? Is it in terms of insecurity? Insecurity here, where we know local banditry was going on in 2015, and then we heard about Boko Haram and all that. Today, what do we have? Nobody can freely. Can the president go to his state in Katsina and stay there for 1 day with 5 security men? It is impossible. I can't go to my farm. I'm a farmer. I can't go to my farm. And how many people can go to their villages? Even in Abuja, Abuja is no longer safe. Where is safe? Tell me in which part of Nigeria today that is safe. Is it what we are looking for in the name of zoning president to the north and south? But honestly, if Nigeria must go for the zoning of president, I want to say that it should go to the south. But that is my personal view. The party can decide. So this is the point that some of us are doing. But if you ask me further, my ultimate view is that look for the best person who can deliver. And we can look at the antecedents of people who are contesting. This person, what have you done in your lifetime that qualifies you to be asking Nigerians to make you president of this country? Because that is the kind of president. It doesn't matter whether you come from the south, from the north, from the east, from the west, from anywhere. Whether you're a Fulani man, you're a Tiv man, you're a German, you're whoever. But if your antecedent is such that you can deliver to provide security for our people, turn around the economy, and not make us slaves the way where we are going. Today, we have become slaves to China and other parts of the world. So this is my take on this matter. Whatever my party decides at the end of the day, I will go with them. But most importantly, I will advise my party to ensure that there is equity, there is fairness, there is justice, there is something that is acceptable by all stakeholders so that we can flow in the same line. Because I know that Nigerians want PDP to come back so that they can rescue and rebuild Nigeria. This APC government have ruined Nigeria completely.
Governor
we can
Ortom,
still redeem it if all of us make up our mind.
Governor Ortom, you reportedly said that you will fight and work against the presidential ambition of Bola Tinubu. Why? And what do you think of his chances of succeeding in his presidential quest?
I think you have quoted me wrong. I never mentioned Bola Tinubu. I never mentioned him. Bola Tinubu have done well in his part of the country. But I did say that anybody who says he will build on the legacies of President Muhammadu Buhari that have brought pains to me, that have sent over 1.5 million IDPs who are still there languishing in pains and are in distress, that have brought economic hardship to my own state, that have brought pains to me. More than 3,000 people of my kinsmen in Benue State have been killed. Anybody who says that, I am a businessman, I come from the organized private sector. In 2015, dollar was 190 naira. Today, it's over 500 naira. Somebody who has brought unemployment and added to what we had in 2015 and has risen to over 30%. Somebody who has brought hardship and no direction whatsoever. And if you tell me that you want to build on that kind of person, I have a responsibility as a representative of my people who also have mandate and have votes to be given to people who want to aspire. That kind of person, I will fight that kind of person. I cannot accept that because if you say you will build on the same legacies that the president will build, it means you will do something worse than what we are witnessing today. And I'm not prepared to lead my people to go into something that is what? I prefer somebody who will come and change the narrative and make things work, improve on the dollar, reduce borrowing, improve on the economy, improve on security, and reduce insecurity in this country. I prefer somebody who will tell me that, yes, when I come in, I will rebuild this country and make things work, not the way we are working from top to bottom. You know, the presidency told us in 2015, when he was campaigning, that he would bring Nigeria from top to bottom, and they have brought it. From top to bottom, he said it 3 times. And I have seen it. We are now from top to bottom in this country. I want somebody who will tell me that if I become president, I will rebuild this country from bottom to top. That is the kind of person I'm looking for. Not this type of person who have taken us from top to bottom.
Governor Ortom.
So I didn't talk about Tinubu. I have no issue with Tinubu whatsoever.
Okay. Thank you for that, Governor Ortom. But just yesterday, the National Economic Council, of which you yourself are a member, they met in Abuja and they also allayed their concerns about the possible removal of the subsidy on petrol. They're saying that remaining it in place they're going to keep it in place for now, but it's also these same states that continue to complain about the NNPC's opaque decisions from oil sales. the proceeds always being remitted to the Federation account. Why is there an inconsistency on the part of the governors? Why can't they just all be aligned on this subsidy issue?
Let me tell you about, I know in that meeting my deputy governor represented me, but let me tell you my personal views. One, about the removal of fuel subsidy. This is something that we need to sit down with all stakeholders and discuss with them, analyze it. Let us have opinion. And this is what I keep saying. This government is just insensitive. They will not want to listen to other people's opinion. They are behaving as if we are still in a military rule. And that is why you have found decrees coming up again. Executive order this, executive. Throughout the period of Shagari, I'm sure you were grown up enough to appreciate the government of Shagari. Did you ever hear about Executive Order 10, Executive Order 11, Executive Order 15? So they want to go back to military. They are addicted to ruling us in a military way. And it's a big problem. Otherwise, if you're in a democratic governance, somebody defined democratic governance as government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So if you have a good decision to make by removing fuel subsidy, why can't you consult with them? Why can't we call stakeholders, civil societies, civil servants, all those people, stakeholders, farmers, everybody, governors, local government chair? Why can't we sit down on a round table, discuss this thing, and come out with a position that will help? On the NNPC, I have never seen a failure in leadership in what we are witnessing today. How many times have NNPC told us that they gave billions of dollars contract to revive our refineries? Now they want to buy shares in Dangote refinery. What a country, what a banana republic are we talking about? NNPC, how many times did they vote money to repair the Kaduna refineries, to repair the Port Harcourt refineries, the Warri refineries? How many times? Who is asking where did that money go? And what has been done? And why is it that these refineries are not working? Who has ever come out to ask this? These are pertinent questions that we should be asking. What business have NNPC got in constructing road? They take money that should be shared by the Federation account, and they distribute it, they do it at will. They remit whatever they have. Since Monday, my commissioner for finance and accountant general have been in Abuja for Federation account. And we are told that NNPC have not remitted anything. I don't know, they said they shifted it to today, whether they will do it today. What business have NNPC got in doing what? So what is the role of Federal Ministry of Works? And what is the role of Ministry of Works in Benue State? And Ministry of Works, Department of Work at the local government? When NNPC are just taking money, doing whatever they want, doing contracts, and collecting kickback here and there. Corruption all over the place. Criminals are in government. They have taken them and placed them there. And people are suffering. And when you talk, nobody wants to listen. And right from the Federal the Federal Executive Council, I can count to you how many criminals I know who were being prosecuted by EFCC, and now they are ministers, so their sins are forgiven. That was what one party chieftain said. And that is happening. And you tell me you're fighting corruption. Which corruption are you fighting, for God's sake? People who have stolen chicken, like Darie and the man in Taraba, Joli Nyame. They are worrying in prison. How much did they take? And I joined our former military president, President Babangida, who said that he removed someone because he stole 300,000 when he was president. But now, people steal 20 billion, and nobody talks about them. Those criminals who are in the federal executive, they know themselves. But the idea, have anybody apprehended them? Do they have immunity? But you go to Anambra and begin to accuse a governor who has immunity. You have not waited until his tenure ends, and you're saying they are stolen. What kind of fight against corruption? These people who are doing this thing, the day of reckoning is coming. And I've always said that I've never met with the chairman of EFCC, but he's a young man. He should know that he will live if God gives him more than some of us, and more than these people that are operating here. And the day of reckoning is coming. Let it be on record. I told Bagu this before, when he was persecuting me here in Benue State. I took him to court, and I defeated him. The court awarded 100 million to me because of the illegality they were doing. If you are given position today, you should know that the permanent thing is changed. You will not be there forever. Magu is not there, no longer there. And you heard all that he was accused of. So these are the issues that we're bringing on board. NNPC have no duty other than to generate revenue and pay to the federation account. What business do they have in doing roads, in paying contracts that they have no right? So these are the issues. And I tell you, people are not happy. And I don't know whether whoever the media handlers of Mr. President should tell him, if somebody is deceiving him that Nigerians are happy, Nigerians are not happy. The entire system have collapsed. I know what I go through. There are certain things here, as the governor of Benue State, the chief secretary, I cannot say it here. But the entire system have collapsed. All, whether security architecture, the economic architecture, the social life of people are collapsed. Whereas everybody is suffering. He may be there, he may not know. He may not be aware of what I'm saying. But maybe somebody should tell him that Nigerians are not happy. And they regret voting him into power as president of this country.
Okay,
if somebody
Governor,
doesn't tell him, I want him to know that this is the truth.
Okay, Governor Ortom, let me cast your mind back to early this month. Some TV youths counseled you to concentrate on improving the welfare of workers in your state whose salaries and pensions have not been paid, rather than making the headlines using the name of President Buhari. How many months' salaries are your workers owed, and what is your response to the TV youths?
Thank you very much. I appreciate this. And to say that, first of all, I've been paying salaries. I've been paying. When I came in 2015, I inherited over 70 billion arrears of salaries, pension, and gratuity. The state service, we are owed 7 months. I immediately arranged, got money on loan, and I paid. I cleared the arrears. Everybody was happy. But you know that recession came in 2016, recession came in 2020, and this led us back to every month working on a deficit budget. So these have created a vacuum, and we have about 5 months of salary arrears for our state workers. At the local government, of course, we're managing this matter until Mr. President signed another decree, executive order, and say we cannot control local government. This thing should be paid from local government. We were owing arrears of 10 months. And that is what it is. But as from 1st of January 2018, we have paid salaries to date. As I talk to you, because all the stakeholders came here, I opened up to them. They told me that for Benue State University, I should be paying them. And since that time, I have not paid. I am not owing workers in Benue State University, which is an average of 600 million every month. But for other categories of workers, because of the challenges that came at the state level, I'm owing 6 months. At the local government level, it's about 10 months. That is alongside with teachers. But it is what I inherited. But I've implemented minimum wage. I've implemented 27%. And to let you know that workers in Benue State are taking the highest salary outside Lagos and River State. You can go and verify this yourself. In some states in the north, Benue State is paying double what they paid them. That is what I inherited. But in the entire north, I am paying the highest salary in Benue State. And you know that Benue State is a civil service state. The economy is supported by the civil service, actively supported by peasant farmers who are now in the IDP camps. We've been able to do this. The pension you're talking about, I also inherited it. But I have done something that no governor have ever done in Benue State since I came in. I have domesticated pension law. As I talk to you, we have over 4 billion that have been collected from both the state government, 10%, and 8% from the civil service. And in no distance time, no civil servant will retire and will require gratuity or pension from government. They will be paid through these savings that are being made. So this is the challenge we have inherited. We have handled this properly. The workers know at the local government level, the union of NOGE, the union of AUT, the union of pension sit with the local government staff. This is my own innovative way of trying to show transparency to ensure that everybody knows what is happening. All these other things they are talking about, no pensions have fared well more than my own administration since I came in. All those things are instigated. But as for salaries, since 2018 to date, as I talk to you, I've been paying salaries. I don't need to use President Buhari's name to promote myself. But the truth is that I'm a major stakeholder in this country. As governor of Benue State, I once served as my local government chairman. I have served at various positions at the party level. I served as a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria before I became governor. This is my second term. This is my country, Nigeria. I have no other home. I have no investment in any other place other than Nigeria.
Well,
so you don't want me to talk about this? I also voted for presidency, please.
Thank you for clarifying the issues. In barely 15 months, you'll be rounding up your tenure as governor. What does the future hold for you? Do you intend to seek political office again, perhaps, say, a run for the presidency or maybe the Senate?
I'm waiting to hear from my people. I'm a democratic person, and if my people want me to run for Senate, I will run. But I think the issue of presidency is beyond me. I prefer to support someone. I have said it. If anybody from the South comes out with the qualities that I have enumerated, I will support that person. It must not be me. God has been so gracious to me. I've been so blessed in terms of political service. And so it must not be me. So if anybody comes from there, I will support. But if my party decides that any person from the north or any part of the country that has the qualities to deliver, but not a barefooted president who cannot live that, if I know a barefooted person, that one I will not be there. Whether from my party or not my party, I will not support that kind of person. But if somebody comes with the qualities that will help this country move away from where we are, I will support that person. But I hear people telling me, as I now, we want you to go for Senate. I have not made up my mind. As a child of God, I have always prayed. I did not just come in as governor. I prayed, and God told me you'll be governor, and I became governor. I'm also praying, and I think by the end of February, when I might have finished my praying, and I will also seek the consent of the people, and of course, God. And if God directs me to go to Senate, why not? And if the people will accept, because the voice of the people is the voice of God. If they will accept, I will go. But if they say no, I prefer to go back to my business and go back to my farm.
Governor Ortom, thank you so much for spending your time with us this afternoon and shedding light on so many topics. We really appreciate it. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, and God bless you. God bless Arise Television. Thank you for granting me this interview to bear my mind.